All right, welcome to the next lesson where we're going to start setting up our online ordering site. In the previous lesson, we went over this visual checklist where we're going to go from steps 1 through 8, all color coded. As you can see, everything in gray is planned. We haven't started anything just yet. And the first thing we're going to start on today is the site. So the site is in progress just as of now, and we're gonna go ahead and do this, okay? The very first thing we need to do is set up the platform. Basically, we need some kind of real estate on the internet to make sure that the customers can access your site and start adding items to their order. So the very first thing we need is an easy way for your customers to access your ordering site. This usually comes in the name of a website like www.yourrestaurant.com. And if you don't have one already, I highly recommend this company to order from, namecheap.com. They're the cheapest. They're the least expensive and highest value domain provider right now. They have all the options, including .com, .restaurant, .io if you're a little bit more techie. So I would go ahead and go to guestgrow.com/namecheap and find your domain here. So I'm actually going to go ahead and search for one of my clients' wanted domains here, MrObanyaki.la.com. And once I see that's available, I'm going to go ahead and add that to the cart. Then view the item. Okay, I'm going to check out here. And when this page loads, it's going to give me my final price, a subtotal of $906. I just want to review all the items over here. So I do want to leave it for 1 year, and I don't want it to auto renew just in case. You will get email notifications up once the year is almost up from Namecheap, reminding you that you should renew your domain if you want to continue with this project. If you're saving 27% on margins for all of your pickup orders, I don't see why you wouldn't continue in 1 year. But just in case, I wouldn't auto renew because I wouldn't want you to pay for it if you're not continuing this project. Okay, and you want to make sure that this Whois guard is enabled. So what this Whois guard is people can usually look up who the owner of a website is by this domain registration. And usually they like to theorize that the website owner is also the owner of the business. And you already know how restaurant owners get spam calls all day, not only from Yelp, Google, but also salespeople, marketing people. I was one of the marketing people, so I know. Okay. Then after these options are done, we're going to click on confirm order. And if you have an account already, then I would go ahead and log in here. If you don't have an account, then go ahead and create an account. All you need is username, password, first name, last name, email address. You don't have to sign up for the newsletter. I would usually uncheck this. After you create your account, they're going to email you at the email address that you provided and give you login access to your account. I already have an account, so I'm going to go ahead and just log in to my account here. Okay, and after you're logged into your account, they're going to go ahead and help you review your order. 1 year registration is right for me. That is the price that I expected. Just to give you some context, most domain providers charge you anywhere from $10 to $15 per year. So this is half the price for the first year. You can go ahead and review your payment details, your name, address, and all that stuff. Make sure this is right. And if it's right, then you go ahead and click on Pay Now. I already have a domain that I'm going to use for this project. So I'm not going to click on Pay Now, but when you click on Pay Now, you'll get details on how to access your site, how to change settings for your site. Okay. So I'm going to go. So after you click on Pay Now, you should get a confirmation email, and that confirmation email should show you how you can access the settings for that site. And I'm going to go ahead and skip it ahead to there. I'm going to go to my dashboard and click on the domain that I'm going to use for this project with you. And so these options may look different from you, but we're actually going to change one thing in a second. We're going to change this from Namecheap Basic DNS to Custom DNS, and we're going to leave this tab like this, okay? I want you to go ahead and open up a new tab. And the next thing we're going to do is, so now we have something like www.yourrestaurant.com. Your loyal customers will know it. People that find you on the web will get linked to it. The next thing we need is so this is basically like the face of what someone enters in the URL box. And once they enter this name into the URL box and press enter, it's going to go ahead and access a server. So now we need that server piece, and the server that I've been with for years and years, and that has really provided the best service to me is A2 hosting. So go to guestgrow.com/A2 hosting. And what we're going to do is click on this WordPress hosting link here. WordPress is the platform that we're going to be using today to help you save 27% margins on your online orders for pickup. So there's going to be 3 options here, and I highly recommend that you just get started with the lowest price option. You can always upgrade later at no cost. So I would go ahead and click on this Get Light here. All right. Then out of these options, since we already have a domain that we just ordered, we would choose this third option, which is I will use my existing domain and update my name servers. Then I will type in the domain that you just registered here, and I'm going to go ahead and type mine that I already have. All right. Then it's going to help us review our order. We got 25 email addresses. That's good. 5 databases, 1 domain. That's all we need for now. 5 subdomains, and that's all we need. Okay. And as you can see here on the right side, it shows $140 checkout price. The reason why they're giving you this price is because they defaulted you at a 36-month price. And the way these savings work is they give you 51% off your original order. Okay. So for example, if I switch to the 1-month price, then I only get 51% off the 1-month price, okay? Seeing as how you already have your domain for a year, I would definitely choose this 12-month price, save 51% off on the whole year, comes out to $52.86. That's a really, really good deal. Couple options we want to choose down here is server location. So you want to choose a server location that's closest to you. I'm over here on the West Coast, so I'm going to choose Arizona. If you're on the East Coast, choose Michigan. If you're in Europe or Asia, India, then you choose any of these respective options. Then the SSL certificate, this actually increases the security of your site. It lets customers know that it's safe to input their name, email address, credit card information when they're making payments. So let's go ahead and keep this checked. All this other stuff we don't really need. For additional options, when it says auto install application, we're going to change this to none. Okay. And so, I told you before that we would be using something called WordPress as our platform, but if we have it pre-installed, it gives us a generic username and password. And this is not something that we're going to want to, make note of or memorize. We're going to want to make our own username and password. So we're just going to go ahead and click on none here. Then we're going to go ahead and click on continue. Okay. And then it's going to show you that it's $107.88 annually, but the very first year is only going to be $52.86. And if everything looks correct on the screen, then go ahead and click on checkout. I already have my own hosting again, so I'm not going to click this checkout button. But once you do click the checkout button, you should receive an email on how to log in to your A2 hosting account. And then after you log into your A2 hosting account, I'll go ahead and log in with you. You should see this little box called services. So this is my service. Mine's called Silver Reseller. Yours will probably be called Light WordPress Hosting. On that same row, click on Manage over here. And then you're going to see a bunch of details here. The very first thing you're going to want to do is check these name servers here. And we're going to use these name servers, and then we're going to go back to our domain tab and fill in these fields here with our name servers. Okay. So as you can see here, these are my name servers, and I'm going to go ahead and copy them, paste them one by one over here. The reason why I love A2 hosting so much is because they give you four separate servers. So in case one of these servers go down, then it'll resort to the next server, and it even gives you up to 4 servers. So they give you lots of backup. Okay. So that really reduces the downtime on your website. Okay. And after you replace these with the name servers from your A2 hosting, go ahead and click that. There's going to be a green check mark over here. Go ahead and click this green check mark. And after that, there'll be a notification that pops down from the top. It says, please give us at least up to 48 hours to propagate this direction of the DNS. So we're going to go ahead and leave that be. Okay. Next thing I'm going to want you to do, you're going to want to do is, you see where it says Site Administration Cpanel. You're going to go ahead and click on one of these 2 links. It doesn't matter which one. They actually go to the same exact site. And once you get there, you'll automatically be logged into a dashboard that looks like this. And in this dashboard, the one thing you're going to want to look for is this W icon with the name WordPress underneath. Okay, so let's click on WordPress here, and we're going to go ahead and click on Install Now. All right, and you're going to go ahead and choose that same installation URL. If you already had your domain and you don't want to mess with your current domain, you want your ordering site to be separate from your domain, then there's one thing we need to do there. Let's go ahead and click on this CP control panel over here. And then in this search box, we're going to click on subdomain. Okay, so we're going to click on this subdomain options here, and then it's going to ask you to create a subdomain. Usually I like to name so a subdomain is basically, instead of www.yourrestaurant.com, you can put order.yourrestaurant.com or orders.yourrestaurant.com, and it basically serves as a separate site, so that it doesn't mess with the design and the operations of your original site. Okay, so for this, I'm going to go ahead and create a subdomain named orders.mrobanyakiyusa.com. It's automatically going to fill this in for you. Then you can go ahead and click on create. Okay, it says that success, the site has been created. So I'm going to go ahead and go back. All right, then I'm going to go back to these 9 panel dots over here. Then I'm going to click on that same W icon with WordPress. I'm going to click on Install Now. And now when you see and choose installation URL, under this choose domain drop down box, you should see your subdomain as well. So it's up to you if you want to choose your normal domain or if you want to choose your subdomain. So I'm going to go ahead and choose my subdomain because I am going to be creating a ordering site from a fresh WordPress install. Okay. Site name, I would usually go ahead and name that Your Restaurant. And then site description, I would put, whatever niche or type of cuisine that you serve. So these guys sell things called wheel cake desserts. So this is what I was talking about here. Instead of having a predetermined username and password, we get to choose our own. So I'm going to go ahead and choose my own here. And you want to make sure that your password is strong, at least a 70, I believe. Then you're going to go ahead and put in your admin email. So I'm going to put in my best email, which is wilson@guestgrow.com. All these other options you don't need to worry about. And then at the very bottom, there's this install button. Click on this install button, and you're going to see this progress bar go 0 to 100 real quick. All right. Then when that's done, it's going to tell you, it's going to show you the link to your website. It's also going to give you the login link to your website. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this login link to my website. The one thing, it may not be available right now. Okay. It's not available. And, there is something that we can do right now to kind of kill our time until we wait for this. So let's keep this window open. I'm going to go ahead and go back here, and on the very top, I'm going to click back to the CP. There's one more thing that we want to do here is we want to create an email, and this email is going to serve as a way to give our customers notifications when orders are ready, orders are received by us, any kind of other communication regarding orders. Okay, so we're going to type an email to the search box, and we're going to click on this email accounts with the open envelope icon. All right. You can see here that I already have some emails here. I already have orders at Mr. Obanyaki USA. I'm going to go ahead and create another one named order without the S at Mr. Obanyaki USA, just to show you what this process looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on my original domain. I don't really want anything on my other subdomains that I created. Again, I'm going to name it order at MrObanyakiUSA.com. I can go ahead and set my password. I'm going to set it as the same one that I had before. It's going to ask me to set a stronger password, but honestly, okay, I'm going to go ahead and use a different password. Okay, cool. So my strength is 82. I'm going to put unlimited storage, and I'm going to go ahead and click on create. Okay, so now I have an email here. And the one thing you can do with this email, there's a couple ways you can access it. The very first way is clicking on this box where it says check email. And you can click on this round cube here. Then you have an inbox, okay? But this is probably not something that you'll log into every single day. So there is a trick that I have, and you can actually connect this to be in your Gmail inbox. If you have Gmail already, then go to gmail.com and go to your inbox, okay? If you don't, then you can go ahead and sign up for a free Gmail account. Once you do go to sign up, you just go to gmail.com, create a new account, choose your email address, input your first name, last name, password, birthday, all that stuff. And once you're once your inbox is created, they'll take you to something like this, okay? And what you want to do, you can go to settings here, the gear icon on the top right, and then click on settings. Then you want to go to the tab called accounts. And then we're going to do two different things. The first thing is we're going to add this email address as a send mail as address. And we're also going to add this email as we can check email from it as well. Okay. So first we're going to do a send mail as. So let's go ahead and click on this add another email address button. You put the name and email address here. So I'm going to put Mr. Obanyaki as a name. And the email address that we created was order@MrObanyakiUSA.com. Okay. And then we can treat this as an alias. That's fine. Click on next step. And then this information, this server information is what we get from the cPanel. So for example, when you go to the same row as order@MrObanyakiUSA.com, there is a link here that says connect devices. Let's click on that link. And then they're going to give us a bunch of information here where it says secure SSL TLS settings, which is their recommended settings. We're going to use these settings and input it into the window that we just had over here. So let's go to this window. The username is going to be the full email address. Okay. The SMTP server is this outgoing server, so it's port 465. And the password is the password that we just made. Let's go ahead and click add account here. Okay. And then when you click on add account, it's going to ask us to verify. The only way you can verify if is you go back to the round cube email that we had and we wait for the verification code to come in. Okay. So let's wait for that verification code to come in. One more thing we can do while we're waiting for that is go ahead and click on this check mail from other accounts as well. So let's click on add mail account here. And let's do the same thing, order@MrObanyakiUSA.com. You can enter your email address that you made. The username would be the same exact thing, I believe. Password would be the password that you made as well. And these settings we're going to get from the cPanel again. So this one is, we want to do POP3 here, so it's 995. Okay. 995. Let's leave a copy of retrieved message on the server. Let's use a secure connection, and let's go ahead and label the messages. Order@MrObanyakiUSA.com. I'll show you what this does in a second. Let's go ahead and click on add account. And that should be done. Okay. So if we go to inbox here, then we can see that there's a lot of other emails here, and they're importing from the order@MrObanyakiUSA.com. And here, actually, we got the confirmation here to get the code to add the email address from the other window. All right. So let's copy this code and go to the window that was awaiting the confirmation code. Let's paste it here. I press Control V to paste, and then click on verify. And once it's verified, we're good to go. Okay. So you should know that it's working once your incoming mail will have a label, order@MrObanyakiUSA.com, or whatever email that you created. And then if your send as mail works, then you can click on compose on the top left here. And then from this, there should be a drop down, and then you should be able to select the email address that we just made, MrObanyakiUSA.com. Then we can do a test email. Let's send to, I'm going to send to myself. You always want to do a separate, a different email than what you're sending from. Test 1, test 2. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and send that and see what happens there, if it works. I'm going to go ahead and refresh because it looked like I had problems sending the email. Okay, so again, I'm going to choose the email that I had before, send it to myself. There you go, sending. Okay, cool. And so here we go. I got the email to me, okay, and I want to respond back to it. Test 2 response, and make sure that the Mr. Obanyaki email is getting emails. And here we go. Okay, cool. All right, and by this time, after we get this set up, the WordPress login should be available right now. So let's go ahead and go to it was orders.mrobanyaki.usa.com/wp-admin. There's your login URL, okay? And then you can go ahead and type in your username and password here. Let me see if I remember what I put in. Okay, that's it. And so if you're here now, then you should be in your WordPress dashboard. And when you first install WordPress, there are a couple of housekeeping items that we want to do to make sure that we maximize the speed, security, and searchability of this site. Okay, so to increase the speed of this site, we're going to delete some unnecessary files that are installed on here by default. The very first one being on this left side panel where it says post. Let's click on all posts. And you can see here that there's a sample post that WordPress made for us automatically. Let's hover over it and click on trash. We don't need that post. Then on the left side, let's hover over pages and go to all pages. This privacy policy we're going to need in the future. This sample page we don't need at all. So let's go ahead and click on trash for this sample page. And then let's go to settings and go to general. And the very first thing we're going to do here is increase the security of our website. If you remember when we first signed up for our hosting, we got a free SSL, which is, as you can see on the top left, there's this information sign that says not secure. Usually consumers know that it's safe to put information on your site, such as usernames, passwords, first names, emails, and credit card information if there's a padlock here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and implement that padlock right now. And the way we're going to do that is if your web address here says HTTP : without the S, then we're going to add the S in between the P and the colon. Same thing for the field down below. And after that's done, what's going to happen is because our web URL changed from non-S to S, they're going to kick us out of our login right now. I'm just going to log back in one more time. But when we log back in, we'll know if it worked if we see a padlock sign up here on the top left. So I'm going to go scroll down and click on Save Changes. Okay, it's going to kick us out. We're going to log back in with the same username and password that we had before. Okay, and as you can hear, there's a padlock here now. And now it says your connection is secure. Okay, so we just upgraded the security of our website by implementing that S. The next thing we want to do is go to reading here in settings. I believe actually there's nothing we need to do here. And the very last thing is to increase the searchability of our website. Under settings, click on permalinks. And then the default here is date and name, where we have our web address and then the date and then the name. Usually for searchability purposes, the keywords that you target, such as your item name, your menu item names, they're more searchable if they're in the beginning of URL. So we're going to go ahead and choose this one, post name only, where the name of your menu item is going to be ahead, and there's going to be no date blocking, no fluff date blocking you here. Okay, so let's click on post name, go all the way down, click on save changes. Okay, so we just cleaned up our WordPress site. The next thing we're going to do is set up the layout of our site to make it look as close as possible, or to set up the foundation to make our look as close as possible to the Uber Eats and DoorDash experiences that we examined. Okay, so the how we're going to do that is we're going to go ahead and click on appearance here and click on themes. The way WordPress works is there's two separate things. The first thing is there are themes where there are preset websites made for you. And there's this one theme I know of that's really, really fast and very, very straightforward when it comes to customizing, called Astra. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Add New button here. On the top right search bar, I'm going to type in Astra. And you should see this purple box, Astra, here. I'm going to go ahead and install this theme. After it's done installing, I'm going to activate it. All right. And then once it's done installing and activating, there should be a button here named Customize. And that's exactly where we're going to go right now. Okay. So this is very, very cool. On the left side panel are all of your options. And then as you make these changes, this page here will refresh with the options that you changed. Okay. So the very first thing we're going to do here is set our logo. So I'm going to go to header and then site identity and then select my logo. Okay, you shouldn't have any files in here. I don't have any either, but I'm going to go ahead and select a file. Instead of clicking on select file, or there's two ways you can do this. You can click on select files here, and then go to all of your photos here. I'm gonna go ahead and select my logo, which is here. Double click on it. Once you do, it should upload to this area, and it should be checked. Once it's checked, on the bottom right, there's a select button. Click on that select button. It's going to ask you to crop the image. I'm going to skip this cropping because I don't want to change the size or look of my logo at all. And now you'll see your logo as its true size. Okay. This may look a little bit too big, so we're going to go ahead and restrict the size of this logo. If you go down to the options a little bit and go to logo width, you can go ahead and type in a number here. Usually a good number for your logo size is 200 width. So I'm going to go ahead and change it to 200 width, and it looks much, much better. All right. Site icon we don't need right now. We don't need Mr. Obanyaki twice. We're going to stick with our logo and not go with the text. So let's go ahead and click on uncheck this display site title, and that should go away. Okay. Tagline, we don't need to display that as well. And once you're done, every single time I make changes, I click on publish. Okay. Cool. So the next thing we're going to do here is click set up our primary header. I believe that everything is good here. Then we're going to go to primary menu. And one thing we want to do here is, because this is going to be a site where people are going to shop, there's actually one step that we should have done before this. And instead of going straight to customize, we want to enable the sales platform and the payments for your site first, okay? Because once you enable the sales platform, they're going to add a couple of pages like your cart and your checkout page for you automatically. And we're going to be working with those inside the customize area as well, okay? So to enable a sales platform and payments on your website, the first thing you're going to need to do is add a plugin, okay? Just to give you some context on plugins and WordPress, the way it works is kind of like your iPhone and your iPhone apps. When your iPhone first comes in, it doesn't have that much functionality. Until you add apps, then you have a lot more functionality. You can access certain websites and accounts through those apps, okay? So the same thing works for WordPress, where WordPress is your base site, and then plugins are kind of like apps where they extend the functionality of your WordPress site. Okay, so I'm going to hover over plugins and click on add new. And the sales platform that's actually by WordPress, but not installed by default, is called Woocommerce. So on the top right search bar, go ahead and type in Woocommerce here. Then you should see Woocommerce, over 3,500 reviews, 4.5 stars, lots of people use it. So let's go ahead and click on install now there. And while that's installing, the payment platform we're going to use is called this Woocommerce Stripe Payment Gateway. So I'm going to go ahead and install that as well. And once both of these are done installing, I'm going to activate both of them. Okay, so those are done installing. I'm going to go ahead and activate on WooCommerce. I believe once I click on activate, they're going to take me straight to a setup guide, and I'm going to go with this setup guide. Okay, so I'm going to click on yes, please here. So they're going to want, they're trying to upsell you on using some of their services called Jetpack. But if you scroll all the way down, there's a small link that says proceed without Jetpack. So I highly recommend doing that. But there is going to be a pop-up box that says that we can give data to WooCommerce based on our usage and experiences. I always like to contribute to this because it really helps WooCommerce understand how users are using their sales platform, and if there are any bugs, then they fix them before future releases. Okay, so I always check on this. Yes, count me in. It's up to you if you'd like to as well. Then they're going to ask you for a bunch of information to help you set up your store. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the store's address here. Okay, then I'm going to click on continue, and I'm in the food and drink industry, so I'm going to click on that and continue. What type of products we're going to have? We're going to have physical products. We're also going to have downloads, and we're going to do some of these in the future, just not now. But I just wanted to kind of touch on this. You know, once you build out the store, and not only can you save 27% margins on all of your pickup orders, but you can sell anything you want in the future, including gift cards, merchandise, and it's going to be a huge revenue booster for you. Okay, so click on physical products and downloads for now, then click on continue. Okay, how many products do you plan on selling? It doesn't really matter what you put here, but if you want to give them this data, that's fine. We have, I think, up to 10 menu items on our menu, and then it's going to ask you where you sell. So we also sell on other platforms and physical stores or events. We're going to click on all three. Annual revenue, I mean, you can put whatever you want here. They don't really change your the way you use WooCommerce based on this. We're going to go ahead and uncheck all of these. These are just extra plugins they're trying to get us to add. And then we're going to click on continue. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and continue with active theme here. All right. Then we're going to click on continue. Okay. Then it's going to ask us for a couple of things. We do want to add our first product right now because we want to see what our first product is going to look like in our storefront. We're going to go ahead and set up shipping, tax, and payments as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and add your first product. Let's add it manually here. And then I'm going to go ahead and put in my first product, which is the black sesame obaniyaki. That's one of the products on our menu. Okay, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do here, what you need to fill out to make your product look good. So the first thing you need to do is add your product name, which is up here. Then as you scroll down on the right sidebar here, you want to add the category. And so your menu is probably already broken down into different categories. I'm going to use the same exact categories on our menu. So this one is obaniyaki. It's in the obaniyaki category. But you also want to create one more category that's not in your menu, and that is a takeout category. Okay. If you're doing takeout or delivery right now, your menu might be a little bit different than your current original menu, because not all of the menu items on your current menu are good for takeout, lasting 30 minutes, an hour, or even 2 hours after the customer decides to eat it after they pick it up. Okay, so this is actually one of the menu items that we do offer on a takeout menu. So we're going to create the takeout category and make sure both takeout and obaniyaki are checked. Okay, then I'm going to put the regular price here. There is no sales price for this menu item. You can add a product short description, and if you have great descriptions on your menu already, I highly recommend that you copy and paste them here. If you don't, then you can put anything generic, or you can. I'm going to put a link down below to to a formula for great product descriptions. Okay. Okay, and the very last thing you can do is set your product image. If you have images already, then we should go ahead and do this. If you don't yet, then you don't have a set a product image just yet. But I already have an image, so I'm going to go ahead and click on set product image. Then I'm going to click on this upload files tab over here. I'm going to click on the select files button. Then I'm going to choose the picture for my black sesame obaniyaki, which I believe is this one here. And once that's done uploading, I'm going to click on set product image on the bottom right. And then I'm going to scroll back up and I'm going to click on publish. Okay, so we just added our first product. We should get this notification here. If you want to check on what this product looks like, there's going to be a permalink here. You can right click on that and open that in a new tab. And you should see your picture along with your product name, price, and all that stuff, which you can also add to cart. Okay, but I just want to show you this and show you a preview of what you have right now. We're going to go ahead and exit this page to go back to our edit product page, and we're going to finish setting up WooCommerce. Okay, so let's go to WooCommerce, hover over WooCommerce, then click on dashboard. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and personalize our store. We're going to click on create homepage. That is our logo, so we're going to go proceed with that logo. And then we're not going to set the store notice text. Okay. Then we're going to set up shipping. So we have our location already. Shipping costs. We're going to go ahead and put 0 free shipping. We only want to set pickup here. There's not going to be any delivery, so we're going to click on proceed. Shipping label printing. We're not going to do that. Now we're going to set up taxes. Click on tax. We're going to configure this tax. Okay. We're going to go to standard rates, and we're going to go ahead and click on this insert row button here. Then we're going to put country code, US, state code. I'm in California, so I'm going to put CA. You can put your own country code and state code here. I'm going to put my zip code here. Then I'm going to enter in my city. And then I already know that my tax rate is 9.5. If you don't know your tax rate yet, you can go ahead and open up a new tab in your browser, and you can put in your city name. Mine's Monterey Park, then tax, and then it should show your tax percentage here. All right. Mine's 9.5 again, so I'm going to go ahead and exit this tab, go back to WooCommerce, and once this 9.5 is in, I'm good. I don't want to charge on shipping because I'm not going to offer any shipping. And then on the bottom left, I'm going to click on this Save Changes button. And that should be it for tax, okay? Then I'm going to go back to my WooCommerce dashboard one more time. I believe there was one more step on the bottom, which is payments. Okay, good. I think before we go to set up payments, we actually have not activated that Stripe Payments plugin that we added before. So let's go to plugins and then click on installed plugins. Then we're going to go to this WooCommerce Stripe Gateway and see how it's not activated yet. We're going to click on activate to activate this plugin. Then we're going to go back to WooCommerce and then back to the dashboard. And then we're going to click on Setup Payments here. Okay. So as you can see, Stripe is already turned on, PayPal not turned on, and Stripe not, and Square not turned on. Square you can only use if you're using Square for your current store right now. I'm going to go ahead and only use Stripe because that's what I'm doing for all of my restaurants right now. Right now it's going to ask you to enable Stripe and connect your store Stripe account. Okay. So if you don't have Stripe already, then go ahead and click on open a new tab and go to stripe.com. Once you're here, you can click on the top right, go to sign in. If you have an account, go ahead and sign in here. If you don't yet, then on the very bottom, then you can click on sign up. And then you can start entering in all your information here. I'm going to go ahead and enter in my information. This is my client's information. Okay, and once you're done here, then you can go ahead and click on create your Stripe account. Once you create your Stripe account, they're going to ask you for all of your business tax information, your EIN number, and also after you're done registering, they're going to give you some live publishable keys. And these keys are what's going to connect this payment platform back into WooCommerce, which we put into here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click on back because I already have an account. I'm going to log into my own account here. Okay, it's a very secure platform. They always try to give you a 2-factor authorization on your cell phone. So I'm going to go to my phone and enter in my code here. Okay, this is my own account. I believe I want to go to their account. Here it is. Okay. And then here we go. So you should see a little dashboard part right here with some options of getting your test API keys and also getting your live API keys. Okay. So we're going to go back to WordPress and see what we want here. Let's go ahead and click on skip for this live key because we don't want to make our payments live yet. We want to keep this site in test mode so that as we build out, we can keep making test payments and make sure that the payments can be successful. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and click on skip here. And then on WooCommerce, I'm going to go down to settings. Then I'm going to go to payments on the payments tab here. Then I'm going to click on Stripe and click on setup. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and enable Stripe. For this title, I'm going to delete this Stripe in parentheses. And for this description, I'm going to delete via Stripe as well. Then we're going to go ahead and enable test mode. That's good. Okay. So if we're going to go back to Stripe and get our test keys. So we're going to go to Stripe. Click on this get your test API keys. Then we're going to click on this publishable key. And as you can see, once you click on it, it's copied right away. Go back to WooCommerce. We can go to the test publishable key, right click and click paste to paste that. Then go back to Stripe and then click on the secret key to get our secret key. Click on the key to copy it. Go back to WooCommerce, right click in the secret key field, go to paste. And that should be good. Okay. We don't need to test webhook secret yet. For statement descriptor, this is going to show up on your customer's credit card statements. So this one, I'm going to put Mr. Oban as my statement descriptor. And then I'm going to go ahead and leave that checked, and everything should be good here. I'm going to click on Save Changes. And now my payments should be available to make. Okay. So just to make sure that all of this worked, we're actually going to go to the orders site and see what we can do right now. Let's go to orders.mrobanyakeusa.com. Sorry, I entered in the website incorrectly. Okay, so we have a home page. Okay, and then what we want to do is we want to go to shop. We want to see if we can add this to cart, which when we click it, we can. Then after that, a view cart link is going to show up. We can view our cart. That's great. Okay, then we can proceed to checkout. And we can see all of our information here. Okay, so people can fill in their billing details, put in their credit card number, which at this point is just a test credit card number, and they can even place their order if they'd like. All right, so that's it. That's all. That's actually all you really need to do here to start selling. Now we're gonna go ahead and customize this theme so that not only do you have your logo on the top left, but you're gonna have the same options as Uber Eats and DoorDash on the top right as well. Okay, so let's go back to WooCommerce. Let's continue what we were doing before, clicking on Appearance, then going to Customize.